We will be talking about the NHL's opening week. On Left Bench Sports.
Cave on, did Alex. No, the Dolphins are not frauds.
All right, we gotta restart
again.
Bad this defense has been. I do not trust them against the Dolphins at all.
Milwaukee Bucks winning the finals this year.
Got a whopping 52 fantasy points in Miami's route of Broncos country.
My 80-year-old grandmother could have broken more tackles and probably made more plays than Mahomes if they gave her a helmet and some football pads.
Welcome to Left Bench Sports. In this abbreviated episode, we will be talking about the Chiefs-Dolphins game, the Buccaneers-Texans game, and Jake and Smitty will be talking about the Eagles-Cowboys game.
At 9:30 in the morning, the Dolphins and Chiefs kicked off the first game in Germany. The Chiefs won 21-14, but they were up 21-0 at halftime. Myles, what stood out to you from this game?
I mean, we all thought it was going to be like 45-48, the final score, but the Chiefs' defense, they really held up well. That was a really cool play by Brian Cook as he got the lateral on the Tyreek Hill fumble. That was like one of the coolest defensive plays I'll ever see. But the Chiefs' defense, they were just attacking to a whole game. They got pressure on them. It was really just a great defensive attack. Mike McDaniel, he's not really known as a defensive coach, but his defense also, Dolphins defense, they played well. But the Chiefs defense with Steve Spagnuolo, he really had the guys playing well. And another thing that stood out to me was Tua and Mahomes' lack of passing yards, really. Nobody threw for over 200 yards. Mahomes only threw for 185. Tua also threw for under 200, and that was like, nobody expected that. Yeah. We thought this was going to be a shootout.
The offense was really that good, and we expected it to be a high-scoring game. You know, one thing that really stood out to me is that the Dolphins still haven't beat a good team. They're 6-0 against teams under 500 this year, but 0-3 against teams over 500. That's not going to work if it comes to the playoffs. I mean, they're not going to be able to win a playoff game if they can't beat a real team. So their offense is really going to have to step it up and start playing well against good teams. I mean, they went down 21-0 at halftime. Terrible offensive play. As you were talking about, the defense, their offense, they can't fumble there to end the first half to go down 21-0 when you could have had a chance to score and make it a closer game going into half. So that's all I have for that game.
And again, Travis Kelce, he had like under 50 yards. He wasn't very good. But the other game that we'd like to talk about is Buccaneers-Texans. It was a very, very high-scoring game. Like, we thought that game could have swapped scores with the Chiefs and Dolphins game, and we wouldn't have said anything. But, Luke, what'd you like in this game?
This may have been the best game so far this season. It's overall high-scoring, back and forth the whole way. Baker Mayfield threw for 265 yards and 2 touchdowns and kept his team in the game the whole way. But in the end, it was C.J. Stroud, the best game so far of his career. The rookie threw for 470 yards and 5 touchdowns. Without Robert Woods, one of his receivers, threw mostly to Tank Dell and Noah Brown and Dalton Schultz, the tight end. All of them went over 100 yards. And it seems like the Texans have found their quarterback finally in C.J. Stroud. Another great game, leading that comeback. I think they had 40 seconds left, and they were down at the end. And C.J. Stroud went right down the field and scored a touchdown to Tank Dell to end the game.
Yeah, the Texans finally have their guy. I mean, you look through the years, Brock Osweiler, Tom Savage. I mean, they have just been terrible at the quarterback position for years is what it seems like. But the thing that stood out to me, at least, is that if you had somebody going in fantasy, they probably had a good game. This is like a fantasy manager's dream. 3 guys go over 100 yards. Like, that is unbelievable, really. I mean, nobody really started Noah Brown anyways, but you know.
C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud.
I may have been going against C.J. Stroud in fantasy.
Oh, you were going against C.J.? Not a fun time.
No.
Not a fun time. But that's all we have for us. And now Jake and Smitty will be talking about the Cowboys and Eagles game.
Welcome back to Left Bench Sports on this short week of school. Today, for a change, we're covering the NFL, and we have the Cowboys and Eagles. It's a huge matchup in the NFC East and a huge rivalry game. The Cowboys lead the all-time series with a 73-56 record against Eagles. Smitty, who did you have winning this game?
I thought the Cowboys were gonna win. Well, obviously, how you said, they have against the Eagles, they have a better record. So I think even though the Eagles right now are the better team, I think the Cowboys were gonna win.
Yeah, I thought the Eagles were gonna win, but even though I thought they were going to win, I definitely thought there was a chance that the Cowboys would win, just because I feel like the Cowboys always perform a lot better against the Eagles. I don't know what it is, but they must prepare a lot better because they play really well against the Eagles. No matter how better the Eagles are, they always play better. So the first quarter started off great. It looked like a great game. It started off 7-7, so scores from both teams. In the second, the Cowboys took the lead, and I think we were thinking the Cowboys, they're always playing good against the Eagles, so I think a lot of people started to think that maybe the Cowboys would win. Dak had an amazing game, 374 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. So
that was definitely a great game for Dak. He had just one of the best games probably this season so far. Since he's been back, he's just been this game he played really well today this weekend.
Yeah, he stepped up big time, even though they weren't able to get it done.
Yeah, he balled out like how you said. He was probably the best quarterback this week.
Besides C.J.
Stroud.
All right. The Eagles were able to get into the red zone and get onto the goal line, leading to the touchdown from the tush push. But, Smitty, there was a lot of drama about the tush push play, and I got to hear your opinion. Should it be a legal play in the NFL?
Yes and no, because a lot of teams can do it, but just not as good as the Eagles. It's an easy play, but the Eagles do it the best because of their big O-line. They have Jason Kelce, they have Dallas Goedert, but Dallas Goedert got hurt. But still, they have and especially how big Jalen Hurts is. Jalen Hurts is a big QB, especially for being a QB.
Mm-hmm. And I think it should be legal because, like you said, a lot of teams could do it, but they just don't do it as well as the Eagles. The Eagles definitely do it way better than any other team. They have a big O-line, and Jalen Hurts able to deadlift 600-plus pounds. That definitely goes in factor. So I think it should be legal. And also, the 6 points helps out with my fantasy team because I got Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
In the third quarter, the Eagles offense got to work with a dime from Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith, and then at the end of the third, touchdown pass to A.J. Brown. In the fourth, the Eagles started to slow down, so it was an 11-point game. The Cowboys were able to force stops in the fourth. So there's a lot of opinions from Cowboys fans on the refs this game. They thought there was a lot of missed calls. Smitty, did you think the refs helped the Eagles win this game?
Well, the refs always help the Eagles win the games. It's not a shocker that the refs helped the Eagles in this game.
Yeah, I think they might have helped a little. But I think there was missed calls on both sides. But I do agree with you that they helped the Eagles a lot. So with 6 minutes left, Dak was able to throw another touchdown pass. The Cowboys forced a stop, got the ball back, and they were in great position to score. I thought they could score, but they didn't. Eagles defense came up huge, and Eagles come out for the win. So statistically, Dak and the Cowboys did outplay Hurts and the Eagles, but things like penalties from the Cowboys and the Eagles defense, it's always a game of defense. Both offenses could be really strong, but at the end of the day, whatever defense plays better is going to win.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles moved up to 8-1, now the clear first in the NFC, and the Cowboys moved down to 5-3.
Yep. So thanks for joining Left Bench Sports this week, and that's all we have here today.